The wind is a thief. It steals the warmth from their skin and the last dry soil from the cliff face, carrying it all into the great, empty space between their world and the next. This is the first truth of the Sky Miners clan. The second is hunger, a dull ache that lies behind the ribs. For 3 generations, the clan has clung to this spire of rock, a fortress against the thunder minus lizards that roam the scrublands below, but a prison all the same. Their existence, a testament to the harsh realities of prehistoric life, is etched into the faces of the early humans who huddle in the shallow caves. They scrape lichen from the stones and trap the fat, black beetles that crawl from the cracks after a rain. It is not enough. Across the chasm, a chasm so wide a thrown spear is swallowed by air halfway across, lies the green table. It is a plateau of impossible promise, lush with ferns and fat minus fruited cycads. Its waterfalls are constant, mocking them on the wind. But the green table is the sky's domain, and the sky belongs to the Pteranodons. Kale does not scrape for lichen. He sits at the cliff's very edge, his legs dangling over the abyss, his eyes fixed on the masters of the air. The others give him a wide berth. He is the dreamer, the gazer, the fool who watches birds when he should be hunting them. Old Una, her face a mask of cracked leather, slams a rock against a stubborn root nearby. The sound a sharp rebuke. Kale does not flinch. He watches as a male Pteranodon Sternberg eye, its magnificent keratin US crest catching the morning sun, launches from the opposing spire. It does not flap. It simply falls, a controlled surrender to gravity, until its vast, leathery wings catch the updraft rising from the sun-baked canyon floor. It banks, a slow, effortless turn, its shadows sweeping over Kale like a passing cloud. He sees the fine, downy PYC fibers on its neck ripple in the wind, sees the way the membrane stretches taut between its elongated finger and its ankle. He sees a machine made of bone and skin, a living spear point thrown by the world itself. If your spirit yearns to see what lies beyond the chasm of the known, follow the whisper of the wind. The clan's technology is born of desperation. They wield tools of bone and tooth, a practical application of what anthropologists might call osteodontokeratic technology. A sharpened femur from a scavenged Dryosaurus serves as a crude spear. The serrated tooth of an Allosaurus is a prized hand-minus axe for butchering the rare goat that wanders to high. Their survival skills are honed, their knowledge of their vertical world absolute. But it is a knowledge of clinging, not of soaring. To them, the chasm is an end. To Kale, it is a question. He sees the bones not just as weapons, but as framework. He sees the cured hides not just as warm, but as surfaces to catch the air. In the clan's bone-spit, a graveyard of past meals and failed hunts, he sees the scattered alphabet of a new language, a language of flight, while the others see the Pteranodons as winged death, a constant threat to their young. Kale sees a blueprint, the whispers they hear of hunger and fear. The whispers Kale hears are of bone and wind. The defiance begins not with a shout, but with a collection of bones. Kale returns from a day of scavenging not with roots or eggs, but with the long, slender ribs of a dead iguanodon, bleached white by the sun. He lays them out near the communal fire, and the work stops. Una approaches, her shadow falling over his strange treasure. She kicks one of the ribs with her bare foot. These do not fill bellies, she says, her voice as rough as the stone she stands on. The children are weak. Your hunt for shadows stalls them. Kale does not look up. He runs a hand along the smooth curve of a bone, feeling its shape, its potential. A full belly for a day is a victory, he murmurs, more to himself than to her. A full belly for a lifetime is a war. This is a weapon for that war. The others watch. Their faces a mixture of pity and scorn. In the long, arduous chronicle of hominid history, a dreamer is a liability. For this clan of Homo erectus, practicality is the only god. He works in secret, in a shallow cave hidden behind a curtain of ancient, hanging roots, a place the others shun for the vipers that sometimes sleep there. This becomes his sanctuary and his forge. The ribs, bound together with strips of wet rawhide that shrink and tighten as they dry, from the leading edge of a wing. He uses the sharpest of his ancient tools, the flint shard, to laboriously drill holes. His hands raw and bleeding. The cross minus spars are lighter, scavenged from the long minus dead carcasses of smaller or neither-pods. Day after day, he builds the skeleton. The night, he does not sleep. He watches the moonlit sky, tracking the silhouettes of the hunting Pteranodons, memorizing the subtle flecks of their wings as they ride the currents. He studies how they use their head minus crests like rudders, how the delicate membrane, the posegium, billows and tightens. He is a student in a school of one, and his teachers are the very monsters his people fear. This is human evolution not as a slow grind, but as a singular, terrifying spark of insight. The breakthrough comes with a price. He spots it on a ledge 100 feet below the clan's main terrace. The crumpled body of a young Pteranodon, a victim of its own failed flight. To reach it is madness. The handholds are treacherous, the wind a constant, pushing him. But the prize is too great. He descends, his muscles screaming, the chasm yawning beneath him. He reaches the carcass, the faint, downy coat of PYC fibers on its neck still soft. With his stone axe, he hacks at the wing, severing the great bone. It is impossibly light. He strikes it against the rock and it cracks, revealing the secret he had only guessed at. It is hollow, crisscrossed with delicate internal struts. These are pneumatized bones, a miracle of biological engineering, designed for maximum strength with minimum weight. He clings to the cliff face, the bone in his teeth, his heart hammering not with fear, but with the wild exhilaration of being right. He has seen the ghost inside the machine. Now, he can build his own. He drags it into the light. The clam recoils as if he has pulled a great beast from the darkness of its cave. It is a skeleton, a monstrous blasphemy of bone and hide nearly for spear minus lengths wide. It looks like a mockery of the sky minus demons. A thing of impossible angles and stitched minus together membranes. Una stands before him, her face a mask of cold fury. You have wasted the last of the hides, she hisses, her voice dangerously low. You have built a monument to your own madness while we starve. This is an offense to the sky. It will bring death. Tail, gaunt and wild-minded aside from his labor, simply shakes his head. He ties the final knot, pulling a sheet of cured deerskin taut over the frame. He looks past Una, his gaze falling on a small child listlessly scratching patterns in the dust, its belly swollen with emptiness. His creation is not a monument. It is a bridge. He pulls the great wing to the precipice, to the very spot where he has spent countless hours watching, learning. The clan follows, a silent, grim procession. They are not there to witness a miracle. They are there to watch a fool die. The wind rushes up from the canyon, a physical presence, pulling at the glider's wide surfaces. It takes all of Kayla's strength to hold it steady. He straps himself into the crude harness of leather loops at the machine's center. He can feel the hollow bones vibrating, humming with a terrible, eager energy. He looks across the chasm one last time, at the green paradise waiting there. Then he looks at the faces of his clan, these human ancestors trapped on a dying rock. Their eyes all stone. He takes a deep breath, the air tasting of dust and altitude, and runs. For 3 heartbeats, he is simply a man running off a cliff. The clan gasps as he plummets. A stone cast into the void, the ground rushes up. Then, the powerful updraft he has gambled his life on catches the wings. The fall becomes a jolt, a violent upward shove that slams him against the harness. The contraption groans, the bones creak, but they hold. He is flying. The initial terror gives way to a shocking, terrifying serenity. The world is silent, save for the rush of wind past his ears. Below, his cliff minus home shrinks, his people becoming small, frantic figures. He is higher than he has ever been. A trespass in the sacred domain of the dinosaurs. A shadow passes over him. He turns his head and finds himself flying alongside one of the great Pteranodons. The creature is not hostile. It tilts its huge, crusted head. Its intelligent eye regarding this strange, flapping intruder with what seems like simple curiosity. For a moment, they are attuned to beings sharing the same river of air. A sudden downdraft snatches at a wingtip, and the glider lurches into a dive, threatening a catastrophic aerodynamic stall. Kale screams, instinctively throwing his weight to the other side, mimicking the balancing act he has seen 1,000 times. The ring levels. He is in control. He is the spear and the spear minus thrower, and his target is the future. He does not land. He arrives. The glider splinters as it tears through the canopy of the green table, a necessary sacrifice to bleed off the impossible speed. Kale is thrown clear, tumbling into a bed of soft, damp ferns. Bruised and bleeding but alive, he rises shakily to his feet, the air thick with the scent of pollen and wet earth. He looks back. Across the vast, impossible gulf, he can see the figures of his clan, still standing at the cliff's edge, watching the place where he vanished. The chasm is no longer an end. He has unwritten the most fundamental law of their existence. This single flight, this audacious act of one man, becomes a pivotal moment in the sprawling, unrecorded epic of paleontology and hominid history. It is the birth of an idea more powerful than any stone tool. That the boundaries of the world are not fixed, that the limitations imposed by tooth and claw and gravity itself are merely problems waiting for a solution. His leap is not just across a canyon, it is across an evolutionary threshold, a defiant declaration that the mind, not just the body, is the ultimate tool for survival in this prehistoric world. What is courage? If not the willingness to build a wing in a world that has only ever taught you how to fall. The story of humanity is not written in stone, but in the echoes of impossible choices, made in the shadow of giants. What happens when the sky itself begins to fall?